On the second day of boat projects, my true love gave to me dock lines.
Today we're going to deal with dock lines, and this was an unexpected project in this series of 12 projects. Due to what happened on Christmas, we had a big storm Christmas Eve, I believe, and then also Christmas night into the next day, where the winds blew from the southwest, started in the southeast and turned into the southwest. On a southwest blow in this marina, things get kind of rough, and they got very rough the other night. I had to go out multiple times and reconfigure the dock lines, and I decided that we didn't have enough strong dock line to do everything I wanted to do in the future. So I'm going to remedy that today. We have some anchor road that we aren't using that I can spare about, a couple of 50, maybe like a 50-foot strand, and then a couple of 35-foot strands to make some dock lines with. So that's what we're doing today. Okay, so like everything else, every other project I do, going to Lazaret, clean out a bunch of stuff, but this time I'm just cleaning out some rope so I can figure out what I got here. I got this big, giant thing of 3-strand. It's either 5/8 or 3/4. That's a good suspect. So much of it. We have it all chain road right now, so we do have 2 backup anchors, so I need to keep road for those. But I don't need 300 feet of 5/8. I got a bunch of double braid too, which is, I'm not good at splicing double braid yet, so I'm not going to try to splice this, but I might see how much I have of it, and I might take a piece up. Luckily they have the markers on both of these of footage on it. Let's see what else I got. I laid out 25 feet, measured 25 feet, and laid it out. So this will give me 50 plus enough to do a good eye. In fact, I'll give myself a little more, just for good measure. So I have a really nice hot knife that will go right through this and seal it as I go. I don't know where it is. I think I left it back in Maine. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to tape this, because it'll unravel when I cut it. I'm going to have to tape it and then use a little torch to kind of cauterize the ends so it won't unravel. Actually, yeah, on this end, and I'll show you what I'm going to do to the other end. Like that. Alright, so I tape that and cut it. See, I got all these fuzzies here, and I just kind of want to melt them together. Just like that.
Nice.
Easy peasy. You can see people in the background boating.
Yeah, they're having a little pleasure trip.
Little paddle boarder, stand-up paddle boarder that came by too. I mean, it's 2 days after Christmas. Things still going all winter here, so it's a nice place to be. A side note, it looks like a seagull left his takeout order over there, so I'm going to go grab that. Yeah, they usually get their food and bring it up on the docks, and
take a nice shit too, so good for them. Yeah, I don't know what he got today. Oh, Taco Bell. Taco Bell. All right. I want some Taco Bell. I wonder if they deliver. Maybe the birds will deliver. I didn't cauterize this end because I'm going to have to unravel it, because I'm going to do a big old an eye splice or loop splice. I'm splicing it. Making a big loop like this, and then I'm kind of braiding this section in back through here, so when we have it around a cleat, it's going to pull in on itself and make a very strong bond. The other way we could do this is to tie a Bolin's knot, but the problem is when you tie a knot, even a good one like a Bolin's, what it does, it can rob the strength of the rope by 50% or more because of the friction in there. And a good friend of mine actually just told me that it's really the friction that breaks the rope. It actually burns through itself a bit, and I tend to believe that. The other thing we could do is simply cleat it off, but it's a lot faster if you have that. And actually, if you do a force diagram, you can see, you can imagine you're pulling with a lot of tension here, and then you have that tension split between these parts going into the cleat. Makes sense, right? So that's what I'm doing. All right, first step we need to do is unwrap this now. All right, cool. So it's called 3-strand ropes because there's 3 strands, and I am just going to undo these strands for a little bit until I feel like I've got enough undone.
And Galen, why did you choose the 3-strand rope out of all the ones you pulled out of the hold?
So I chose the 3-strand because 3-strand has a lot more stretchiness to it. You can actually see like has a lot more stretchiness to it. It has less tensile strength, but it's a little bit thicker, I think, than the other rope we did. Now, out of desperation, Christmas night, I threw on a big thick halyard line that we have to supplement what we had going on, and pull it through. You can see, so a double braid, I should say, double braid has an inner core and an outer, and we chafed through and broke that outer part, which was not good. We're very lucky because that would have been very devastating if this one had let go. But she stayed, thank God. And so we, I learned my lesson there. Go with the rope that has a little more stretch to it.
And in our defense, we were putting out a lot of line.
It was,
and
yeah,
backups.
trust me, we were rocking up and down with the wind almost blowing me off the dock, and that's not an exaggeration.
No, it was like 4 or 5 feet up in the air.
Yeah, it was extremely nasty here and traumatizing. And I was just throwing, as I was trying to figure out how the boat rode, I was trying to put on lines, and I had another sailor helping me too. Put on lines so it didn't jerk the boat and put too much stress on it, but at the same time we were worried about our bow coming down and hitting the dock over there, so we were trying to get the boat to move back. So yeah, it was a whole thing. We can go into that some other time, but anyways, 3-strand, it's I think that's the way to go for us for most of our dock lines. I haven't done this in a while, and so I'm probably going to screw this up, but one thing I did do is I taped each individual strand and burnt the ends so they don't, because as you can see, these are made up of even tinier twists of rope, and they unravel rather quickly and make a huge mess. So what I'm going to do, you see I got one laid out in the middle, one to the left of me, and one to the right of me. And I've got a marlin spike. And what I'm going to do is systematically put these underneath each of the strands up here. So I'm going to have to kind of dig this out. I'm going to start with the middle. Try to fit that underneath there. And this is going to be ugly to watch for a little while because I'm not really great at rope work, but I can do it. I've done this a few times before. Quite a few times. But like I said, it's been a while. So feed this, and you notice I'm feeding it through my left. So I'm going to pull that. I'm not going to pull it quite tight just yet. Now, I'm going to take the one to the left, and the one to the left goes above the one I just did. So, you know, I just remember you twist it and unlock it like that. It's coming back. Twist it, unlock it, make sure it feeds to the left. Put this through. And you can kind of see already as the rope pulls, the rope tightens. These strands tighten together and clamp down on this. Kind of a neat little thing. Alright, pull this for a little bit tighter. Now this is the bottom one. The one to the right, I should say. The one to the right is a little bit trickier because you're really supposed to feed this through the one underneath here. And you have to remember to feed it up again, up through to the left. So if you flip the whole thing over, it kind of makes more sense. So I think I'm doing this right. I'll check a reference manual here in a minute to make sure, but the first splice is always the trickiest. After that, it kind of becomes just repeating yourself over and over. It's weird twisting it, but there we go. There we go. Alright, so I think if I did it correctly, that's my first splice, and then it's just a matter of jumping up two from the one I just put this under. So then I just go 1, 2, make sure I don't count this part. So 1, 2, and then I got to feed this up through. Do the same thing for this one, and then just keep going up through. Do about 6 to 8, I think. I'll check, but I think you have to do like 6 to 8 strands for the full effect on it. Alright, it's kind of finished. I've got everything braided through. I'm going to tighten everything up. I'm going to put this part on a cleat and then just pull the hell out of it and see if I can get it to tighten up. Okay, I'm going to just throw this on the cleat like this. And just kind of keep working it. Okay, so I ended up taking this 50 foot off that length of road, and I also took a 30 footer off too. I got the splice in this one. I'm going to put a splice in the 30 footer too. And I think this 50 footer is going to go from here all the way back to either one of those cleats or actually around that pylon, probably way back there, to keep us from going forward too much. If the wind shifts out of the east in any direction. And I think the 30 footer, I'm actually going to put the eye on that cleat, replace these two lines because they're looking kind of ragged, and I'll have the working end up here on a cleat. That way, so usually you would have the, as you can see down here, the working end down here. But I'm going to have it on the boat because if we're really rocking, like we were the other night, I want to be able to adjust from the boat and not have to get off the boat because that's kind of dangerous. So that's what we're going to be doing.
Make sure you follow SailBums on Instagram and on Facebook through the links below in the description. And also subscribe here to our YouTube channel so you'll see our next video when it comes out. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.